everybody, welcome back on Stamperia YouTube. I'm Antonis Tzanidakis, aka Sir Vagabond, and today we're going to dive on the new products from new Stamperia line art stories. More specifically, Jumbo Crackle and Misty Paints. I'm going to give you some ideas, some basics about how to use the products and all the magic you can do. Of course, in later videos we are going to do a lot of techniques and different ideas, but let's dive first into the basics so you know what you're getting and you know what you can do. We are going to work on a piece of wood, small size for the purpose of the video, but of course you can take all the ideas, the techniques, and apply them on a bigger surface, bigger canvas, furniture, wall, whatever you like. We're going to use also some stencils just to give some little touch to look more stylish and more beautiful. So I'm going to put the camera from the top and see you again at the end. First thing we have to do, we have to use master primer to prep our surface. This is the perfect primer for all surfaces. It's perfect for non-porous, but at the same time can prep any piece of wood and just seal very well the surface. So you can go and work later on with the Misti Paint without having any problems. So basically, I'm going to use my soft brush. This is the new brush from Art Stories, very good size and very easy to use. And I'm going to cover my whole surface, and then I'm going to let it dry for maybe 20-30 minutes, or I'm going to use a heat tool, because right now we're going in a small surface, and for the purpose of the video I'm going to do some things fast. But if you do that at home and you do that on a wall or something that's very important for you, you better let it sit for a couple of hours just to really dry very well, and then go and work with the rest. So basically covering the whole surface, very smooth and nice. Very important to use the soft brush. And as you can see, I just go from one side all the way to the other side, just create even and smooth area. So let's go do that and we jump to the next step. After our surface dries very well, you can see it's pretty much solid. Doesn't need to be exactly perfect. This is just a primer, just a base to prep our surface. And now we're ready to work with Misty Paints. Now the first step is not gonna be something super crazy. I'm not going to use so much water. I'm going to use mostly to paint the surface with the graphite. This is one of the colors. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this beautiful color. Look, these guys, that's a beauty. And now I'm going to use my sponge. This is the sponge, the sea sponge, the perfect sponge. Has the very nice texture and it's very stiff. That's why I like this one. This also comes from Art Stories from Stamperia, and it's very easy to paint, very easy to create texture, and you will find it individually but also on the starter kit or the kit with the tools. So basically what you do, you just take the paint directly from the jar, and I'm going to paint my whole area by dabbing. Now what that creates, if I use my soft brush, the surface is going to be really flat, really smooth. But doing that with a sponge, I just give different texture. And as you can see, I don't need to go and paint everything. I have some little white spots here and there. That's part of the texture. Now this sponge, you can use it all together. Wash it and let it dry and have it ready, because the sponge has to be dry. You cannot do this with a wet sponge. So you can use it as it is and just go clean it, let it dry, and it's ready for the next time. Or you can cut it in pieces, or you can just get multiple ones, because it's much easier to have always fresh, or to work, like for example, if I want to do something again in the same project, I can have another one, and that's let this dry, clean it dry, and use another one. Anyway, so basically, as you can see, by dabbing, I get this nice texture because of the holes of the sponge. It's very important. You wouldn't be able to do the same thing if it was another sponge, but this one, because it has the holes, just give a different look. Okay, and this is what I want. Now, I'm going to dry it, and we're gonna see what's the next step. So this is just a base on top of the white. We see a little bit of white, we want that. This part of the texture you can see around the edges, just a little bit here and there. That creates a very nice texture layer. And I just use Misti Paint Graphite. Now, the first, I told you I'm not gonna use water, but the layer on top with the next color, we're going to use the water and just create some nice effect. But for now, just go and dry this one and then we're back. After we dry, or you let it dry, I mean, you will be surprised how easy they dry and how fast. Because these paints, the Misti Paints besides, they're very easy to blend with water, and we're gonna do that. I'm gonna show you in this video. They are perfect also to paint and get amazing result. Even if you paint with soft brush, you're gonna get just a very beautiful, solid result, but then you can take a sponge and then you get the texture, but then we will do also with water and they blend perfectly. We're gonna do a lot of things, not everything today, but you will see how many crazy things you can do with the Misti Paints. You will be surprised. Just stay tuned, ring the bell. It's a good opportunity to tell you that. Ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos, and also subscribe, because you want to be a subscriber, right? It's free and you will get a lot of ideas and informations. Now, I'm going to use one of my stencils from the same collection. That's a very beautiful background stencil. I think it's perfect for this project. And for now, I'm going to use Misti Paint, but this time Silverstone Metallic. It's a metallic one, and let's go and give some nice metallic vibe in our project. So I'm going to use the sponge this time from the other side, and basically you take the paint. Of course, you have to not have so much paint. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just have a piece of paper here, just dab a little bit there. You don't want to have so much on your sponge, and I'm going to go through the stencil. It's very easy. It's better if you don't have so much paint. Always take, dab, maybe I'm off camera now, but I'm just dabbing on my paper, and then I just go and create the stencil. Just to see how it looks, you can see very beautiful. I'm gonna show you later with the light. I'm gonna turn the canvas around just to see how nice and metallic they are. But for now, very fast, I'm going to just dab through the stencil. I don't want to do the whole stencil, just here and there. Just like that. And then I will place, look what you can do. It's very clever the way we design the stencil, so you can find the same position here, and then you continue. If you want to do more, you just find the same position on one of the designs, and then it continuously perfectly. You have the perfect spacing, everything is ready, and it just looks cool. Let me show you. You understand? So you just need to line up again, and then you just go and create just like that. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry, and I'm going to clean my stencil. Of course, you have to clean the stencil immediately, especially when you use with paints, because you want to keep it fresh. And then we're back for the next step. After everything dries, I'm gonna continue with the Silverstone, and I just want to go and add just a little bit texture on top of the gray here and there. Still, I take paint from here, go here on my paper, and I just go and add a little bit more texture. The two colors, they are very similar. That's why you don't see a big difference, but of course, if it was the silver on top of black or another color you see more, but I kind of feel like I want to do the same vibe. So you can see always when you don't have so much color, you can just go and dab in the middle here, blend everything together. When you have more color, of course, you go and dab around the edges. You always start from the edges and then, now you see me doing it very fast, but you have to be careful. You don't want to have like one dab there, one dab there. I mean, you can see that everything is together, even though I do it very fast, but you can do it slower. I just have the experience to go fast, but you can just go slower and you have to put everything together. So basically, this is what we get so far. I'm gonna let it dry very well, and then we're back to see how it looks. After we dry, you can see this nice, you can see here with the light, right? The metallic, I don't know if you can pick it up from the camera, but look this beauty here. That's just, look at that, guys. That's perfect. Now, what we're gonna do next, you already see that I have paper underneath, so paper towel. So if you see paper towel, that means we're getting messy and we're gonna have fun. So I have the spray bottle. This is from Art Stories from Stamperia, from the same line. Amazing mist. You will be so surprised how good this thing sprays. And there are some things in the market that you spray all the way down and then they continue spraying. I don't like that because that you cannot control really how much water you want to put. This one has the perfect mist, but at the same time, when you go all the way down, it stops immediately. And if you press it a little bit, you can do some droplets. So this is the perfect mist. Definitely you need that. And now let's go back to the project. What I'm going to use Misti Paint Deep Black. Definitely one of my favorite colors because we can do crazy things. And let me throw this beauty. Look how black this is. That's really black. That's nice. So what am I going to do with that? What's the idea? I'm going to use the sponge. The sponge is already dry here, the gray, so I'm going to use the same area. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit color and look what you do. You just dab there on top and then with the water, look guys, it's like ink. Look this beauty. That's the crazy thing about these paints. Look at that. Look how easy. I mean, you spray the water and immediately start blending around and looks like you just add ink. That's the beauty about the Misti Paints. Hopefully you can see it in the camera because, let me see. Yeah, because the way now the project is, we need more space. This is the problem with the big projects. Okay, and then we're going to take a little bit of paper towel, just go grab some of the, nice. So what I want to do with that, of course, is an option. All the colors, all the Misti Paints, they work the same. They can just blend with water. Now me, I like the black on this specific one, but of course you can go and just add any color. Or if you're a vintage person like me, look at this, guys. Look, it's like an ink. Look this craziness. I just love this product. So let me, very nice. Let's blend everything together and just let it drip. Now it's a big mess here, but we don't care. Let me take paper towel and just go kind of like grab a little bit color back because I don't want to have all the lines you get, but you can just play accordingly and just add as much color you want. And of course, add again and again and again. So what I'm trying to do now with the baby wipes or paper towels is just to try to give the shape, to shape a little bit the water and all the black parts. Now, of course, this is a process. You have to just do it, dry, and then you see, because when you dry, everything becomes a little bit more dim. And I'm gonna use my heating tool, and I'm going to dry everything, and then we'll see where we are. But you see, still running. Still running. Very, very, very cool. So, let me dry, and then we're back. And after we dry, you can see all the details. Look at this, guys. I just love the result with the Misty Paints. Now, you can say, oh, okay, this is like watercolor. And also when we did the live in Stamperia, the presentation, they said that it's like aqua color. No, it's not aqua color, because the paint is paint. The Misty Paint is paint. You can normally paint something and give a very nice matte finish. If you use the metallic, of course, metallic finish, and use your soft brush and just paint something solid and then work on top of it. But at the same time, as soon as you spray water on them, they become like ink. Did you see before when I sprayed how rich the color was and just went all over the place? So this is Misty Paints. That's why we call them Misty. You mist water and they just go everywhere. So it's double purpose, and plus dry brushing. There are some, basically it's one paint that you can do everything. This is what is the special about them, and trust me, it's easy. This is why you need this product, because it's very easy. Anyway, me, I use the black just to give this kind of like shadowing to make my background more interesting. Now imagine having just that. We don't need to do anything else. We're gonna do, but imagine having something like that on your furniture, canvas. I mean, now it's a piece of wood, but imagine you have a frame, you decorate, perfect. It's just a beautiful background. Now, what we're gonna do next? We're gonna go one step further. We could just stop here, of course, but we're gonna go one step further. And first of all, we are going to use the plaster coat. We used that also in the previous video with stenciling, but now I'm going to use to create some texture on the background. So, for that, we need the spatula. That's the perfect size spatula palette knife from Art Stories, the same line. And basically, you're gonna take your plaster coat. You could put it on the side and just mix it with any of the colors. That can happen also, but for now, I just want to go white. Now, what's the idea? What I'm going to do? I'm not going to cover everything, of course. I have to just add here and there, just give this nice texture. Now, you will be surprised how easy it is to work with this specific paste, because of the consistency is very smooth, matte, and just gives amazing results. Now, the only thing you have to do though is you never put your spatula or palette knife on an angle. You always stay flat, parallel with the surface, and very lightly you just go and add the texture. If you don't do that, that you remove. You see here? No, you just go very lightly and you create a very nice texture. It's just experience, but if you work with it, you will see how easy it is. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna decide some of the areas. I don't want to put too much and everywhere. It's just kind of like blending everything together. Give a nice texture. When I want to clean my spatula, I come here so everything blends together. Somewhere I put thicker layer, and somewhere I just put thinner layer, and here and there just to have a very nice, and of course I'm going to cover the stencil, but not all the stencil, just here and there. Still you can see the stencil, right? So, just like that. So mainly we have this area and this area. I kept the middle with nothing, and now we're going to dry. You can use a heat tool or you can let it dry. I mean, especially if you do something big, furniture or a wall, you can just let it dry. But for the purpose of the video, I'm going to dry. So I keep going and I show you what we're gonna do next. Okay, so this is gonna dry fast, dries matte, super smooth, absorbs any color, perfect. And after we dry, now it's time to use some of the Jumbo Crackle, because of course you need some crackle in your life, we know that. So this is step 1, step 2. So the step 1, you start always of course with step 1. With this crackle you will never have issues, you will get always the perfect crackle. Now, what's the idea? You use a soft brush. In general, you don't want to be wet. And then you apply on the areas that you think that you want to have crackle. Now, you don't paint, you kind of like placing the material. As you can see, it's not like painting, it's just placing. And I kind of like go on top of the already texture we did. And as thicker you put the first layer, more crackles you're going to get, and in general bigger crackles. So what I do, I just place here and there. I don't need to cover, I don't want to cover everything. I will just kind of like want to see also the texture that we have from the plaster coat. And now you are going to let it dry. And as soon as it's dry, then you're going to apply, we're going to apply the Jumbo Crackle step 2, that basically is a paste, okay? And we're gonna use our palette knife. So, but first we have to let it dry, and then let's see what result we are going to get. After the step 1 dries, we're taking the step 2, and basically we repeat what we did with the plaster coat, we do also with the Crackle Paste. Now with the Crackle Paste you will realize that it's softer in general, and basically you just go and just add the product on top. And it doesn't need to be exactly perfect like everywhere, because that's why when you get like these crazy textures, as you can see, yeah, okay, you put the step 1. If you don't cover it all, you're not gonna see it at the end because of the different textures we have anyway. So it's not like a big deal, right? Okay, very nice. Just like that. It's very easy and you will get always the perfect results. Now, the only thing you have to do, just let it dry, clean your spatula of course, because always has to be clean underneath, and clean a little bit. And now, the only thing you have to do, just let it dry. You will see crazy crackles and you're gonna love the result. Now, let it dry and let's see how it's gonna turn out. Guys, look these crackles here. You know how we call this crackle? The Grand Canyon crackle. Amazing, right? So I just let it sit outside on the sun, just crackle on its own very fast, 20 minutes. Just beautiful crackles. Look all this, look at that. You can get just, with this Jumbo Crackle, you can get always the perfect result. But I will tell you something. There are many ways, there are many things you can do. This is just a tip. So if you want to get very white and deep crackles, you just apply a lot from the step 1. When I say a lot, like thicker layer. If you want to have crackles like this, like the more small ones, you put less amount of the step 1, okay? You don't need to dry like 100% the step 1. As soon as it's sticky, then you can go and apply the step 2. But we got just super crackles, Jumbo crackles, very easy. So, what do you want me to tell you? If this is good, this is really good. Anyway, no, after what we're going to do, we're going to use another Misty Paint because I want to give just a little color on top of the white. And I'm between these two colors, the Celadon or the Tropic Ocean. Now, I don't know if I want to go strong on a gray or I want to go just a little bit more like light. So, what do you think, guys? What I should use, Tropic Ocean or Celadon? Write a comment below, but probably I will already do it before you write a comment. But let's go with Celadon. I just want to go a little bit more pale. Okay, so Misty Paint, Celadon, the same idea. I'm gonna open my jar and then I'm going to get my sponge and then I will just go and just paint the most of the area. But look, I'm just focusing mostly right now on the white and I dab very well. So after you dab down, you don't want to let the paint dry. Immediately, you're gonna just go and spray because we want the edges to be more blended, right? So just like that, very nice. And I will do at the same time from here. Now I'm gonna keep you here so you can see the whole process. Just like that, and then the same idea. And just go and blend a little with my fingers to soften the edges. Just like that. And then I'm gonna just let it drip a little bit. I'm gonna spray water. I mean, don't be afraid of the water. Then maybe take a baby wipe and just go a little bit and just remove whatever we don't want, just like that. And then we're going to dry. But I just feel that maybe I want just a little bit to drip down, you know, like to get this nice effect. And now it's the time to dry. This time I'm gonna use a heat tool and I'm going to dry the whole thing. It's gonna take time, you can let it dry on its own, but let it dry and then I'm back. After we dry, look this result, guys. Look all the blending. That's very, very cool. And look all the crackles and everything. Now, we're gonna do the last step. The last step is we're going back with a deep black mist paint just to see a little bit more of the crackles and just blend everything together. Of course, this is my preference of colors. You could just go totally different, right? You can go with browns, with white, with any kind of color if you like to have, because we have many colors, right? Bronze metallic, we have golden sun metallic, we have antique amber metallic. And of course, with the normal Misty Paints, we have cinnamon, we have tropic ocean and deep white. And of course, more colors coming soon. We're gonna give more options, but for now, this is what we have. And of course, I just show you ideas, how the products work. Now, I like dark, I like teal, I like gray. You could just do that in different colors, of course, and in the future with many, many, many more options. Now, what I'm gonna do with the deep black Misty Paint, I'm gonna take now the stencil brush. This is a stencil brush, they call it Standarino in Stamperia. This is from the same line, Art Stories. Big size because we do big things, but of course, this is not bad to have in general, this brush in your collection. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit in the crackles, and I have baby wipe and I have my spray with me. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just show you a little bit here. So I'm gonna just dab inside the crackles. I'm gonna just spray water, and basically I'm gonna just go and just rub it in and then remove with baby wipe. And what that does, you can see that now you can see the crackles more, right? So you can see the difference here and here. So these paints do everything. You can do everything. So basically, I'm gonna do the same here. I'm gonna rub it in, and then I'm gonna just spray water, and I'm going to use my baby wipe and just blend everything. Always you have to change baby wipes, and then very lightly. That is going to give a nice shadow, and at the same time also you can see the crackles. It's very important when you clean, especially the last cleaning, to be following, like don't do rounds, don't do diagonal, just very lightly follow how the project goes, so you get any line you get, it's kind of like match the project. And let's go and do the same also in the other areas. Just rub it in, and we get also the texture. Now the only downside of this process is that you have to just use a lot of baby wipe. Now the good thing is that you have time to clean, because the paint is not gonna dry instantly. And as you can see, the same process, just the trick is always use baby wipe. This is the downside. The downside of what I'm showing you right now is that you have to use a lot of baby wipes because you want clean baby wipe. Okay, so just like that. And look now, let me see how they look in the camera. Yeah, you can see the Grand Canyon here getting dark, very nice. So I'm gonna add a little bit also here. For this process, you don't need so much paint. It's just, you see how, look this blending, it becomes like ink. You don't need so much. For small areas, you can even use what you have already in your brush. It's not a big deal. And now I'm gonna just bring everything together. And a last touch, another baby wipe, just to take the final coat of black out. And it's so funny to see, like you can see even the glitter from, oh, that's so beautiful, from the metallic paint. That's beauty. And this is what we have. Now, of course, if you want, and just go around the edges. Now, this is a sample. I mean, if it's a bigger area, probably you don't need to do that, but you can see, because they blend so easy, right, with water. So baby wipe, pretty much water, and then I can just go with not so much paint, just a little bit, and then kind of like blend a little bit around the edges and just give a darker look. Without water this time, because I want to be able to control more the paint. Right, very nice, just here and there, just add a little bit, especially around the edges. Now I do that for shadowing, but as I said, this is just a panel. I mean, I wouldn't do that in the wall. I mean, you can if you want, but probably that technique I would use it on a furniture to make it really vintage and distressed around the edges, inside the crevices and all these things. But at the same time, you know, maybe you want to have something very vintage in your house, like a wall like this. So I kind of like, I cannot tell you to not do it. Why not? Just like that. Just a little bit shadowing. Take a little bit paint and just go around the edges. Now you see that I don't use water, I don't spray water, I just go and play with my baby wipe. And I just go and add just a little bit darker around the edges. The thing about these Misty Paints, the most important, and the video today was about Misty Paints and the Jumbo Crackle. The Jumbo Crackle, we're gonna use it in many different ways, but today it was just to give some texture, but basically everything was about the Misty Paints, and we have two more colors here. So Misty, Celadon and Graphite. And we have these 6 in the line, and today I just show you a little bit that with Misty Paints you can do everything. Dry brushing we haven't done, we will do in another video, but you can do painting, you can spray with water, you can put them inside the crackles, you can shadowing, you can do everything. This is the special about these paints. They can work like a normal paint, but at the same time they can be also work like an ink with water, just sprays around, very nice. Especially the black, it's incredible for shadowing. So you can do everything. We have these 4 colors, and then we have this metallic, silver stone metallic, antique amber metallic, golden sun metallic, and bronze metallic. Okay, today we use the silver stone, but this for today's video. So let's get back to say bye-bye, and that was it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you enjoy this beautiful sample panel, I would say, just to show you a little bit about the Misty Paints, what you can do, a lot of information, and of course how to get the perfect crackle with Jumbo Crackle, the new product from Arts&Crafts from Stamperia. So that's all for me. Antonis Tzanidakis, aka Sir Vagabond, Stamperia Arts&Crafts YouTube channel, and don't forget, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos with a lot of different ideas, different techniques. So that's all for me, and see you very soon. Bye bye.